Techno somehow generates some sort of stimuli in your brain and gets you into this rhythm where the only thing you're focusing on is the music and the dance. You're not worried about anything, you're not thinking about anything, you don't care who's next to you. You don't see couples dancing, you see people dancing by themselves.
This is music that you can feel inside you can dance, you can,
I like to dance by myself, you know? I don't like to be doing the, the trains and stuff like that where everyone's grinding on top of each other.
Yeah, right?
A lot of times I just like to be by myself.
The most amazing thing that I've ever deduced on my own about house music is that it's a one form of entertainment, man, where you are completely engulfed in sounds and things that you have never heard before, and you're entertained.
Yeah. Like it's all about. Back in the old days, people would eat Quaaludes and go out to discos like my father, and he said, when I was a kid, I used to love to go to those discos, and we'd eat Quaaludes and have a good time, and it was a very big vibe, just like this is going right now.
In a beautiful world, in a perfect situation, it's where people come together to dance, a unifying type event where everyone comes together and dances, and here's a variety of DJs and possibly live performances. Just there to party and there for the music and to have a good time with their friends, basically. That's how I feel about it anyway.
There were these all-night events where you go and you listen to this new, kind of interesting music and stay up all night and meet lots of people, and some people would do a lot of drugs.
It was just people out celebrating life through song and dance, a positive vibe, and people having fun, forgetting about their problems for one night. I think it's a lot cheaper to go to an event than a psychiatrist, because I know a lot of people that leave thoroughly satisfied, and it's just almost like all their negativity has just been flushed out of them. And then it all builds up once again during the week, and then they come out again. And it's a very physical group of people.
You put in an atmosphere such as a club with lighting that's unreal, music that is so loud and unreal also. It's all like technological, psychedelic, everything. You go there for that experience. You go to a club so that you're in this unreal, this unreal environment.
In Orlando, the crowd's really docile. People are a lot nicer and they're friendly. You go to a party in California, they're carrying guns, and there's fights.
It's about having a good time without worrying about anybody tapping on your shoulder and saying, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing?"
In a lot of ways, what goes on in Central Florida does not happen anywhere else in the U.S.
You never know what's going to happen in these parties. It's really a crazy thing setting up in one night, setting up, a 61,000 square foot warehouse and turning it into basically a huge party house, and it's really crazy doing it in one night.
There's not a school that you can go to really be a promoter. You have to actually do the OJT thing with somebody else, or just basically be around for a long time like we have. And if we could have gotten a college education to become a promoter, we would have done it. We try to be as fair as possible, and we try to let other promoters know when we're going to be doing an event.
It's one of the best things I've seen is more organization between promoters and DJs and club owners. I mean, and over the couple of years that I've been involved in the scene, I've been able to read people more on what they're trying to get out of it. Are they trying to get money out of this party? Are they trying to get people together to educate them about a certain kind of music?
You know, when you go to certain events that it's you can feel that some events are real sterile and are all about money, and other events are just real true to the music and the people. And you just have to think when you go to these places, you know, what is this all about, and make your own decisions.
We're happy if we have 1,000 people show up, 900 people, and they meet a few people at the event. That's what makes me happy, is meeting other people.
That's the most enjoyment I get out of it. You know, I love to make the crowd scream.
What was once an alternative to the clubs has now become what goes on in clubs. I think that's one thing that's really interesting to Florida, man. A lot of this stuff does happen in clubs, and there's some really amazing underground things going on. I really don't think that the country quite knows yet, how, what I would perceive as the more magic things of Florida, just like the crowds at Simon's and some of the more magic parties and stuff.
State of Florida, Orlando's probably has the biggest rave scene out of, anywhere in this state, and I think Florida has almost one of the biggest rave scenes in the whole country. For some reason, the rave scene in Florida is just tremendous. It's really good.
Your house is mine.
People pay their cover charge and they step inside, and it's like it's all lights and music to them. There's a lot of stuff that goes on that they don't even understand is actually going on that night, that makes sure that from the time that thing starts to the time that ends, that it is a production.
I like techno, I like house, I like acid jazz, I love classical music, I love souk music, I love every music, opera, everything.
I'm more into the house music.
Well, let me see, there's trance, there's techno, there's house, deep house, progressive house.
Then you got your regular lyrical house with messages, and you got some music that don't have no lyrics at all.
Ambient, intelligent techno.
The harder acid house sound is coming back a lot more, and you hear a lot of songs with acid lines like 303s and stuff.
You have a song that's at 190 BPM, but you might have like a little something in the background that's not a beat, and throw all this crazy sounds on it or really mellow sounds in the background, and you've got a really chilled out, listenable piece. Well, I mean, electronic music in general, I'll use the same equipment, but I mean, as far as between dance and ambient, I think where the musician, what he's focusing on, or what kind of mood he's trying to get across is where the difference is.
Now, if you're just listening to it and you don't like it, and you haven't, gotten in tune with it yet, you probably just think it all sounds the same, because a lot of it is very repetitive. And a lot of it sounds repetitive because when a DJ mixes two songs that have similar beats together, it continues and continues all night. Whereas, if you can train your ear to listen to it and really begin to enjoy it and like it, you can hear differences, and it doesn't all sound alike.
Unfortunately, in America, most of rave culture is pretty much comes from, middle class, kids who've grown up on pop radio, hook, chorus, verse, and I see in a lot of scenes, we kind of joke around calling it the post-American rave syndrome, but a lot of scenes the kids really only seem to respond to that hook, chorus, verse type of music.
I actually had someone tell me the other day that they thought it didn't have any soul, which, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it doesn't have any soul. I think it has a lot more soul than a lot of music I hear. I think a lot of people think that since it's electronic and it's technical, that you just simply, push a couple buttons on a synthesizer and all of a sudden you have this track. People think that if it's not a guitar or something acoustic, that just because it has a plug to it, that it's just not real music.